46 and 47 are pretty similar, sneakily so. Find two z-values, one positive, one negative. Jeez, that's bad. Here's the middle, 0. So find two z-values, one positive, one negative, that are equidistant from the mean, that are both the same distance from the mean, so we're talking symmetrically here, so that the areas in the two tails, when I say the tails, like these areas here, the tails, add up to 1%. It's going to be so far away because the sum of this area here and this area here add together to give me 1%, or 0.01. Those two areas add to be 0.01. Now what that means is, since this is symmetric, these two areas are equal. So this one has to be 0.005 and this one has to be 0.005. So this is kind of like the problem before, right? The 43, 44, 45, where all I really need to do is look here, look at the table, find the area that, find the z-value that gives me an area of 0.005. This one will be negative, and then just change the sign to positive, and I'll have the same area on the other side. Since it's a symmetric, we've got to take advantage of the symmetry there. So I'm looking at the table for 0.005. Let's see what we get. 0.005, right? 0.005. Where is it? Ooh, right in between here, right in between here, right in between here, right in between here. So this is 2.5, let's say 8, right? Because that might round up to 0.005. Negative 2.5, 8. So if this z-value here is negative 2.58, then this z-value here has to be positive 2.58. So z equals negative 2.58 and z equals 2.58. Those are the two z-values, one positive, one negative, equidistant from the mean. The area is here. The area to the left of negative 2.58 is 0.005. The area to the right of 2.58 is 0.005. So those are my values. 47. Now I said this, the same question, just worded a little differently, right? So find the z-scores that bound the middle 74%. So here's 0, right in the middle. We know one standard deviation away is 68% from that prior problem. So I just want a little bit more. I want a little bit more. That z-value should be a little bit less than negative, a little bit less than negative 1, a little bit greater than positive 1. Because here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. This area here is 74%. The middle 74% is what I want. But I'm going to approach this problem the same way I approached this problem, by looking at the tails, because the table can give us the tails really nicely. Right? So even though we're looking at the middle 74%, what do these tails add up to? 100 minus 74? That's what? 26? So each of these should be 13%. Each of these tails should be 13%. Add those all up, you get 100%. Right? Middle 74, so that's symmetric. The tails are going to be symmetric, 13% each. Or if we're looking at decimals, 0.13 each. Now all I have to do is look at my table for 0.13. That'll give me this z-value here on the left, and I change the sign to positive, I get the z-value on the right. Just like that, just like the problem before. I hope that makes sense. Middle 74, that means I've got 26% left over, divided evenly between the two tails, 0.13 and 0.13, 13%, 13%. So I look at the table for that 0.13 in here, because that's the area 0.13. Where are you? Negative 1.13, close to it, looks like, right? Negative 1.13, because this rounds up to 0.13. Negative 1.13, negative 1.13, negative, right? Let me make sure. Negative 1.13. Yeah. So this Z value here is negative 1.13. This Z value here is positive 1.13. That's it.